started.
Man, come on.
What's going on? Welcome back to Kicking It With. My name is Zac Holcomb. Today I'm joined by Jap Jones of the Bootleg Podcast. You might know of them. This is episode 25 of Kicking It With. We've made it quarter century, man. Welcome. Congrats. Quarter century.
I appreciate you for having me.
For sure, man. For sure. I saw you reached out to me, and then I started paying attention. You guys got a little podcast going up there in Greene County, and I was like,
oh, yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's go. I'm liking it.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Hey, Jap Jones, Bootleg Podcast Show. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Bootleg Podcast. Then you want to follow us on TikTok at the Bootleg Podcast _. Then you want to follow us on Twitter at Podcast Bootleg 1. Yeah.
Perfect. There you go. Yeah. I'll whip up a little graphic. Maybe Steph will help me out. We'll throw a little graphic up and make it look hot.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. We've been trying, man. Me and Grant, my brother, did the most universally liked bracket from Barstool Sports the other day. We kind of broke it down. It was interesting, good fun. Betty White, not on the bracket even, for most universally liked people in the world.
Really?
The Rock was a 16 seed.
Who doesn't love The Rock?
What? I know, dude, he was a 16. We were pissed because I was like, so first round matchup was Bob Ross, 1 seed, and then The Rock, 16, most universally liked. And I was like, times have changed, guys. The Rock isn't everywhere. Bob Ross is dead.
Who's Bob Ross?
Exactly. That's what I said. I'm like, a lot of people don't know. It's universal. Mr. Rogers was on there. It's pretty good. Anyway.
Mr. Rogers, okay.
Yeah. Shaq won it. We took Shaq.
I can see that.
We had Shaq and Keanu Reeves in the finals.
Yeah, John Wick.
That's what he
rode. You gotta love him.
Keanu rode John Wick all the way to the finals. He beat Dolly Parton. I mean, he had a pretty good road.
Man, he was blazing the trail.
He beat The Rock. Yeah, he beat The Rock.
The Rock. Now let me know your take. So, who do you pick?
I don't know, man. For me personally, I would probably put The Rock ahead of Keanu Reeves.
Same here.
More universally liked, more universally known. I mean, exactly. Keanu can ride in the subway. People don't even know it's Keanu. You know it's The Rock.
Now, me personally, I would probably know it's Keanu.
You went with Keanu? That's my brother with Keanu.
No, I don't go with Keanu.
Oh, okay.
But I would know Keanu. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you would know him if you saw him.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. But The Rock, come on, man. People's eyebrow, elbow.
That's what people's chant. That's what Grant said. He's always cooking. He's always smelling good.
Tell you, take him to Jabronieville, you know?
Yes, I didn't even think about the I totally forgot about that. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, man. Don't you just miss those promos from back in the day?
That was the only era outside of I watched when it was WWF. Mm-hmm. I was a big Hulk Hogan fan. I like the little smash pillow. It was like the Hulk Hogan character, and he was like about when you're like 4 years old, he's like half scale of you, and you're like, bam, you're like dropping the elbows on him and stuff on the waterbed.
Hogan.
Old times, yeah. But then after that, I took a hiatus, and then I came back, and I was the Rock guy there, like 2001, 2002, 2000.
Believe it or not, I'm a Stone Cold guy.
Stone Cold guy.
Stone Cold guy. All day long.
He wasn't even on the list. I guess it wasn't. Maybe we should do a bracket of the best wrestlers of all time.
You know, I think we should do that. You know what I mean?
Andre the Giant would be on there. Macho Man.
Yeah, Macho. Definitely Stone Cold.
Yeah, Stone Cold. Kurt Angle, maybe.
Kurt Angle.
I can't remember what they called him. Was he like the Olympian or something like that? He went to the Olympics.
He broke his freaking neck and won a gold medal.
That's true. Yes, that's true. I'm trying to think if it was him. No, it was Rex Holman. Anywho, I did like actual real wrestling, right? Like high school wrestling and stuff when I was in school and stuff. So,
got you. So now, did you tune in? When was it? I think it was Fridays, and back then it was Monday.
Mondays, yeah. Was Mondays WrestleMania or something like that? Am I way off? I used to
Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw, yes. I definitely watched The Rock on the Raw, like Monday night stuff. Yeah. It was on like was it the Who channel? WHO?
WHO or
whatever
what was
happened
it?
to them? They had some good shows. They had Seventh Heaven. You remember that?
You know what? I never seen Seventh Heaven, but I've heard so much about it.
Jessica Biel.
That's a good reason.
She was in there. So Jessica Biel, I don't know how old you are, but like Jessica Biel was like on Seventh Heaven, and then she did like the nude shoots, and then everybody was like, Seventh Heaven needs to cancel Jessica Biel. This was like early cancellations of people for doing stuff, but like I think she did like a nude spot in a magazine or something, and then the people, like all the fans of Seventh Heaven were like, how dare her do that, like pose nude when she's on Seventh Heaven, and she was like, whatever, man, I'm trying to get rich. And JT was like, what's up, girl?
But no, look, Jessica Biel. Okay, yeah. I'm trying to make sure. I'm thinking about Jessica Simpson.
No.
Okay, I know.
She ran her course. Nick Lachey's girl. Yeah, Nick and Jessica. It was like the MTV show and all that. No. Jessica Biel, dark hair.
Gotcha.
It's Justin Timberlake's wife.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Speaking of Justin Timberlake, I gotta know.
See how we just jumped right in like that?
Yeah, for sure. NSYNC or Backstreet?
So, me personally, this is a little exposing, but I had an NSYNC CD before I had a Backstreet Boys CD, and I wasn't like jamming all of it. I just had a lot of albums or CDs, I guess you could say. So I had it, but I had NSYNC before Backstreet Boys. But I think longevity, though, as a group, Backstreet Boys probably has it more. JT, the top overall of both boy bands, but I think under him, it's Backstreet Boys. Yeah, and then maybe it comes to like. Who was the other dude from NSYNC? Shazez, or how do you say that name? Hit us up in the comments because we just can't remember. Yeah. Too many boy bands.
Yeah, no, really.
Yeah, and then you had and then freaking the dude with Jessica Simpson. He hits it from 98 degrees just by marrying her. Mm-hmm. Roads to riches. You never know.
Man, that'd be a great road, wouldn't it?
I'm telling you. Yep.
My wife's rich.
Yeah, just sugar mama life.
Oh,
they got to figure it out, man. I mean, especially like, look at that, though. Both contributors. Mm-hmm. Holy cow. Yeah. I mean, there's like setting up your family for like legacy for like generations. But then there's like, and your spouse also makes $60 million a year. You're like, dang.
That's what I'm saying. That's where we're trying to get to, right?
Yeah. That retirement money.
Please subscribe.
Yeah. I've been just asking just straight up, like if you've got $25,000 to $100,000 that you're cool with just not having, and like, or maybe you're a venture capitalist, and you you're like, that's cool. I lose every once in a while. If you've been winning and you're due for a loss, just send me a check or like just deposit into the Out of America bank account. We're cool. Like, and you can just be like, it was another company. It was one of those investments that didn't work out, but I will make it work. Like I got a bunch of ideas.
I believe in you, man. I believe in you.
Same thing. You guys need like 25 to 100, and you're just chilling. And
absolutely,
you could be doing a lot more cool stuff for the people if you had that flexibility, you know?
Yep.
And, the person that gives it up, they're not giving up any flexibility in their life. It's just no big deal. Exactly. So, yeah, if you're like worth $10 million or more and you just like to float like a little 100,000 our way, either one of us, or we'll split it. Like I'm chilling too. 50-50? 50K and 50K? So, yeah, if you got $100,000, you just want to go ahead and stroke a check, you can bring it down here, 300 North Heritage, drop that check off, and then myself and Jap, we'll just split it right down the middle, 50-50. We'll put it towards our podcast, and we'll keep bringing you guys awesome content.
Exactly. And then you keep paying us.
Yeah, and then if you want next year, you just write us another check. If you're at your year end, if you're watching this and it's December and you need to get money off the books, we can sell you a hat for $50,000 right now, or like something you can use for your business and write off. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why not? You don't get what you don't ask for is what I've heard.
Zach, I like the way you think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You just got to put it out. It's manifestation, dude. Like, you got to put it out there.
Exactly. Say it 5 times a day.
Yeah. Well, they say that marketing, it takes 22 or 23 times for someone to, like, see your thing to be like, I'm with that.
Exactly.
So it is like a war of attrition.
So that's the hardest part about doing a podcast is the marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, just posting every day, even though you're not a social media person, taking pictures, I ain't into all that. But for the cost that I have going on, okay, let's go get it.
Yeah, exactly. My problem is like when I make content, I want to post it immediately. And I have to be like, no, because Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you're not going to want to make any content. So save it and spread it out. That's been my problem.
I understand that. My problem is I think I work too hard. I think I work too hard, man.
What are you guys? What are you editing in? Are you editing the video up a little bit? I know you guys chop it up. You obviously for your shorts and your clips and stuff.
Oh yeah. We use anything anywhere from iMovie. What was that joint? He just let me know what it was, and I downloaded it.
You got Canva yet? You onto that hip game?
I haven't hit Canva yet.
Oh, dude, change your life. It's like if we were like this right here, and we like took that to Canva, we'd cut all this out of the back and just be you and me, like
put
green
like
screen.
Paris back here or something.
Yeah, we could be wherever we wanted. Yeah,
okay.
We could actually be like in a room with like all the cash, like that 100,000 around us, behind us.
Get money.
Maybe
get money.
If I get really creative, that'll be the thumbnail. It'll just be you and me with cash behind.
Yeah. Hey,
this is the shot.
Make it happen. Yeah.
So we like to have fun, man. That's all. That's what keeps it going.
You gotta have fun.
So you guys have been having a bunch of different, all sorts of different people on. You guys like episode 25. I saw already. Like, when did you guys start it?
We started at the end of August.
Okay.
September. It's kind of been a blur.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah, it takes away all your free time right now.
Well, actually, you know what? Being that we are married men, we worked it out.
Yeah.
We worked it out, like, down to a minute day, time.
Yeah.
You know, you got to, because I got 2 children. Shout out my children. Hey, how you doing? Don't be bad. Listen to your mom. But no, man, we just every Wednesday and Friday.
Okay, those are your recording days.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the mentality is never stop.
Yeah. Like
keep going.
Staying on it.
Keep going. And so when I came across you and I seen that, I think around that time you were on episode 22. Are you on 23 now? Or?
We're 25 right here.
25.
I kind of took a little, like, the holidays kind of tripped me up. I was gone for a week and stuff like that. So.
Hey, shout out to us and the Bootleg Podcast, man. Was the 25th episode?
Yeah. 25 and 25 at the same time, I think we hit. So I tried to sync that up. I'm telling you, dude. I'm big on numbers. I told you.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Smart man. But yeah, man. But the mentality was never stop. Yeah. Just keep going.
Yep.
Just keep going, and things just started to fall into place. Just like I know it's happening for you, it's just falling into place. It's just that you can't pay attention to the numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I know you're a numbers guy.
I know.
And I know it kills you softly, doesn't it?
Every once in a while you're like, how the heck? That was a really good one.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's wild.
But one thing I've learned from being in music, I used to be a rapper, I guess. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, you did it funny.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. But it's just we took that mentality and put it into a podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Because a lot of people say, you know, we need more doctors. No, we need more rappers. Yeah. Okay? Listen to me. We need more rappers. But look, let me explain to you why. Now, of course, we need more doctors and things like that.
Sure.
Know, of course, but the reason why is because it builds confidence. It builds public speaking.
True.
It builds so many different things I probably forgot about.
It's a mental workout. It's articulation at speed, at scale.
Exactly.
Yeah. People, they sleep on that, man. To be honest, preachers.
Yeah.
As well. Very similar.
Very similar.
We're working with a guy for like a bunch of stuff here in town on his stuff. He's a pastor. And we dropped something the other day, and he was like, "Oh, that's really good." He's like, he started thinking about how he could put it together, and I was like, "I'll shoot you a couple bars, man. Like, don't worry. I'll work on it later tonight." It's very similar, but you're totally right. Like, it's especially in self-confidence and putting yourself out there and saying things and doing things that a lot of people are probably afraid to do because of the judgment or the potential for judgment.
Yep.
But you start to really quickly grow like a thick skin. And the knack for putting yourself. So, yeah. Exactly. I'm a big fan of that. I think you're right.
Oh, most definitely, man.
The kids these days coming up, man, they're shoving a camera in their face all the time.
Exactly.
You think about, like, our parents, like, they don't want anything to do with being recorded. Maybe take our picture, but, like, don't get that camera out of my face.
If mama wants some help on the computer, she gonna call me to come to her house.
Yeah. Not, can you talk me through it? You just come over.
Can you come over here right now? And look, and if you got something else to do, you know what? I ain't doing nothing else for y'all. I was like, oh my God, mom. Come on, baby. Come on now. You know, moms are crazy. But yeah, man. I'm happy to be here, man.
Dude, I'm psyched. I'm so glad you reached out. It's super tight. Tight. It's just the way things work out. And that's, again, like, it's on that other thing of, like, would you have, like, a lot of people think about all the time, oh, man, we started this thing. And they're like, how are you going to get people to come on? I was like, I'm just going to shoot messages to people. And when they reply, I'll have them on. If they don't want to reply, that's fine. If they don't,
Oh yeah.
some people will reply a lot later and be like, "Hey man, I still want to jump on that thing." Oh yeah, now that we're popping, yeah, you want on now?
Yeah.
But you remember, man, those early people, they're the ones that are like, yeah, they got the time for it. Oh, by the way, I saw you guys had Titus Below on.
Oh yeah.
He's
That's
tight.
my cousin.
I like him. Is your cousin?
Yeah, that's my cousin.
So, shoot, what's his son's name? It's very similar. Tyson.
Dang.
Is it Tyson?
Oh my god, I don't forgot my cousin's name. I think it's Titus.
Titus and Tyson.
Titus. I think it's Titus.
If it's all wrong, we'll cut it out. Don't worry. We definitely won't let him know that we forgot.
You know.
Anywho, dude, he when we first got to town, they brought him over. He was like interning with us when he was like 12 years old.
Really?
He was like blasting parts. He loved it. He loved coming in and hanging out and doing all sorts of random stuff for us.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
He's a very good kid. Good family too. Like,
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
I like Titus a lot. I think he's tight.
Hey man, he comes from good stock, man. For sure.
Hookerton guy. Yeah.
Yep, Hookerton. Shout out 4-Way.
For sure. Yeah, I've heard all about that life.
Yeah, man. That's where we come from. 4-Way, Trailer Park, Churchill Road, BB first, second, third. You know, that's what we throw up. You know, and look, no gang signs. This is pride right here.
Yeah.
Absolute pride. You know, so but Greene County pride in general.
For sure.
So.
That's been a lot of the people you've had on too. I know you've had like some people that you've had people on that like are doing the rap game still, right?
Yeah, man. We had Fable from D4L.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
So let me tell you, we have this saying: you gotta have gorilla balls. And so I love a lot of Southern music, and Hustle and Flow is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
And he said that you gotta have gorilla balls, man. I'm like, he's kind of right. So I just took a chance. Telling the truth, I seen he was gonna be at the Clash, and I just reached out.
Yep. Never know.
Never know. Made it happen.
Worst case scenario, you get no reply or no as a reply,
and you get to save some money. But, you know,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely had to pay for that, but it's cool to be able to say you had a 3-time platinum recording artist on your show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
So I strongly encourage you to, you know, whoever it is that you might want on your show, reach out to them.
Just reach out. Yeah.
That's it.
I like
Email, phone number, whatever. Reach out.
Right on. I like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's killer advice if you're kicking something off, man. Like, why not? It doesn't hurt at all. And you'd be amazed how many people like actually support you that you don't even know about. Like, and then when you ask for the support, it's again, you don't get what you don't ask for, like that 100 G's we're gonna get. But like, you never know when someone's just gonna be like, "What's up? I like this a lot. Let me help, or let me jump on." Or absolutely.
I can almost guarantee that ever since you've been doing this, somebody stopped you.
Yeah, for sure.
Same here.
For sure.
People I don't even know.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, you're on that thing."
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people are watching. That's why the views and subscribers, they don't match.
Yeah, I'm definitely with that. I've got to start. My biggest thing is starting to put all my old episodes in full blow on Facebook, because right now I only put the full episodes on YouTube. That's it.
Right. I understand.
So, and I'll do like short clips and stuff on Facebook, little teasers. But in general, I haven't really even done a lot of that. I've been really lazy about it. But yeah, like I'm starting to go back through a little and be like, and pick and pull those really cool moments. And when you put them on YouTube, what's cool too is like it shows you the spikes, so you can be like, oh man, people loved it. They rewind it and watch it again. Cut that up, throw it out there. Start getting
analytics.
Those in. Yeah. I got to do more of that. I'm definitely not creating enough content on the daily. Like I need to be putting out like 10 pieces a day instead of doing like 1 or 2. But I'm like, oh, I'm really working hard on them. But like sometimes you spend a lot of money editing something up, and then it's just not hot. Yeah,
that's.
And you're like, I got like 4 hours. It kind of hurts your ego a little bit. You're kind of tired, and then it kind of flops, and you're like, that kind of stunk. Like I actually put time into that one. It did terrible analytically wise. But then you have someone later on down the line, they're like, hey, that one video you did when you like, I noticed that you really spent extra time on it. You're like, oh man, and it makes you feel good. Like I've had that happen some too a little bit.
I'm gonna let you in on a secret.
Yes.
So I'm a baseball man, right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, and I know before we even started this, you go to a lot of the Down East Wood Ducks games, right? So when an infielder or outfielder makes an error, can you imagine the message that you first hear when you make one?
Right.
is forget about it. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter if it's ugly. It don't matter if it don't sound right.
Yeah, it ultimately already happened.
People want to see you work. Mm-hmm. That's the common denominator right there.
That's true.
So, and don't get it twisted. I get lazy.
Oh, sure.
I am not a social media person. I really am not. But to get the life that we talked about, gotta do it.
Yep, it's like a requisite at this point. Yep.
Yeah, and you're gonna go through all the emotions of being in business, basically.
Yeah.
So even if that video didn't look exactly like you wanted it to, put it out.
Oh, yeah, I'm with that too. Steph and I were working on a video the other day, and we were kind of struggling with it, and the clips weren't really working out, and it was like, and I was like, you know what? Just make what you can out of what we've got that is good, and just pop that, and then let's just move on to tomorrow, because like no one's gonna even remember it in 6 days anyway. Like,
you never know, they might.
Well, yeah, but like generally people aren't like, oh man, remember that clip you saw like 6 days ago where they like missed that transition? It was kind of choppy.
Understood.
Like on like the micro level, we were like looking at transitions, like, oh, it just doesn't. The frame rate's not matching up. Nobody freaking noticed it. Like we noticed it because it's like looking at your own hand. You know the imperfections in your own hand, but to everybody else, it's a handshake.
Exactly.
But you're like, oh, but you didn't see the scar? No one's paying attention to that shit. Did you shake my hand? Great,
man, it's just like a woman that's beautiful, but she don't know that.
Yeah, well, yeah, people are like, what? Well, it's just human nature, man. We focus on the negative.
Yeah.
That's like the retrain.
That balance.
Yeah, right.
But I try to push the needle.
Yeah.
Positively, man, because I know if I operate negatively, it's just going to take longer.
Yeah, and it snowballs too. It's cancerous. It's like brain tumors, man. It just eats at you. It gets into everything.
Exactly.
Self-doubt's horrible, man. That's, again, push you out of that a little bit.
I've dealt with plenty of that in my life, especially playing baseball. So that game will humble you anyway. So.
I'm telling you. Yeah, man. No doubt. Yeah, any sport where you're aiming to be successful, like being successful 1 out of 3 times is the pinnacle. Yeah, you're gearing up for some disappointment.
Yeah. So if for you folks out there, 3 out of 10 times you're considered a Hall of Famer if you can keep that average.
Yeah. If you can hit a ball into play 3 times out of 10 times, you're one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's failing.
That's like half of failing. You could do twice that and be failing in school.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So
it's an interesting perspective for sure.
Man, I apply it to life.
Yeah, that people make millions and billions of dollars off of being successful 3 out of every 10 times.
3 out of every 10
Less than 1 out of 3. 1 out of 4 is still a serviceable player.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I've been like, somehow probably my kids clicked on some Mr. Beast stuff like while they were on my profile. So I've like had a lot of his like random things in my feed. But I'm not getting like the BS videos. I'm getting like the interviews that he's been doing with like people that are talking about stuff like we're talking about, like what is it taking, all this stuff. And it's been really actually kind of eye opening. Like people like walk in on me and they're like, oh, what are you doing watching Mr. Beast video? And I'm like, I'm not watching him do the Willy Wonka skit. I'm like watching an interview that he's doing with someone where he's discussing like the downtimes and the pay period. I want to hear about the pay period. Like that, because no one wants to talk about that. It's not glamorous. It's not fun. It's not sexy. This is we're in the pay period right now. No one really thinks about this when we're, popping on a national thing every day.
Exactly.
But this is the time that no one wants to do. This is the work that no one wants to do. The grind out, that slows. Baseball, very similar. Yeah. We had Chris Hatcher on a couple episodes ago.
Oh, really?
He was like in the minors for like 5 years before he ever made it to the majors. Just grinding it out.
You know what's cool? We actually had a rapper come on our show about a week or 2 ago, and he actually played in the minors for a couple of years.
Gotcha. Nice.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like baseball player turned rapper. Okay, I did that.
Right. Yeah, you see a lot of that similarities and stuff. Yeah. That is cool.
It's crazy. Cool. And I always remember, folks, God is the pitcher, and you're the batter, and all you got to do is swing. But if you strike out, it's okay. As long as you're breathing, you get to go bat again. You know what I mean?
2 or 3 out of 10, man. That's all you're looking for.
Exactly.
That's all you're looking for. But, yeah, you don't get those without swinging. That's for sure. I'm big on that, man. Like, a lot of people, like conservative people in general, like, oh, they worry about taking chances and stuff. And it's like, oh, well, I'm already 40. You're a child. You're a baby.
Exactly.
Like, if you're 40, you've maybe been working for 20 years, and you're going to work for 20 more years minimum in general, unless you're like us and you're retiring at 40 or 50. But like, people sleep on that. Like, oh, I'm already 40. I'm already 45. I'm 50. Like, bro, you're going to live to be 80. Exactly. So you're at the halfway point at 50. You're at the halfway point between being 20 years old and being dead. That's a lot of life to live. I'm like halfway. I'm 34, so full disclosure, I'm literally between 20 and 50 right now. That's and like, true. Isn't that crazy? I'm 25% of the way between 20 and 80.
Yeah. It's
weird. How old are you, man?
31.
31?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you're
I mean,
baby. Yeah. You got time like crazy. Like, so when I was 31 was when I was like figuring out kind of, I think, who I was a little bit and being like, all right, I'm this dude and I'm not going to be happy doing this anymore. I need to go and do this. And like kind of that self-awareness of like that. Exactly. And then there was like, you take some steps and some things don't work out so well and other things do. And then you go from there. But like, that's my story at least. But like, it's just interesting. Like at 31 was when I was like, oh, this is all just a game.
Yeah, all of it.
This is all just a game. And the worst case scenario is like, if I try something and it doesn't work out, I'm going to learn a lot of shit. And then I might be in the same boat or like slightly worse than I'm in right now. Yeah. Who cares?
Exactly.
Try.
That's it. My wife used to get on me so bad about trying different things. Mm-hmm. But I'm just like, how are you going to find your purpose or what it is you're supposed to be doing if you don't try different things? Yeah. I mean, you daggone right. Okay, so there's a Bible verse. Excuse me if anybody's not, of the faith, and I got my, I like that. You know what I mean. But it said, search for the truth as if it is for hid treasure. Well, if you're searching for your truth, get to work.
Yeah, and know that it's going to be tough, and there's going to be times where you're going to be like, this sucks, and I don't want to do it anymore. Like, remember, you're the one that wanted to take that chance and get into that stuff. So grind it out. Pay period. Getting to great things takes a longer pay period than the average person's pay period. So like the looking outside of your circle, like looking outside at other people and where they're at in their little journey is like, that's humans' problem. Like we look at other people and we compare things and it doesn't.
That's one reason I don't like social media.
Yeah, it totally is that. It's yeah.
That same person you seen on that plane could have just rented it out, just took some pictures.
Totally. Yep. All day long.
Perception is crazy.
That's what I like, actually, not to bring it all the way, like to stay with the plane thing, but like flying commercial. Never know who you're sitting next to.
Exactly.
That could be their first flight, their 1,000th flight. They could be a person going to see grandma because grandma bought the ticket, or they can be the person that owns some mega million company and they're just in seat 13C that day.
Exactly.
You never know. You do a lot of, like, do you do some flying, commercial flying ever?
It's been a while.
Do you talk to the person that's a stranger on either side of you, or you just kind of like
mind your business? I talk to strangers anyway.
Yeah, me too. Especially older people. Like, if they are 100% gray, hook me up. And they want to talk because they don't have like the phone there. You know what I mean? So like you kind of have that vibe with them. Yeah, dude, I love chatting to people that are like retired, 70 plus.
Same here.
Because they just teach you so much stuff. And because at that point, they don't care.
It's like it's information. When you bestow your wisdom.
I'm telling you, dude, it's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I love talking to people that are like grandparents' age or older. Like, it's awesome.
Dude, especially the ones that cuss. I like that.
Yeah. The real stories. Like if they're, like a dude that's like, and then you're like, this is good.
Yeah, we about to get into it.
Dude just choked down 3 cigars, man. He's alive right now.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
And my granddaddy was like that.
Yeah, nice.
So that's why sex education was important. That's why, just learning how to take care of your family was important because he did it in such an entertaining way. You know what I mean? Just like that guy.
You're paying attention.
Grandson, you ain't, what I mean? And they'll tell you straight up, too. To your face. Yeah, they don't care how you take it. It's what they said, and they said what they said.
Yeah. And it's usually like some of the best shit ever. Like it's so serious. And like I said, like they're not like, like some people, they'll give you advice, but they won't give you advice like too much. They don't want you to, you gotta learn some things on your own. Those people suck. Like Just
exactly.
My happiness isn't coming out of your happiness jar. Like
Exactly.
we got our own jars to fill. Like pass that shit on, man.
So
share
what
it.
people don't understand is even if I gave someone the whole game of what I'm doing, they still got to find their own way.
They still have to actually do the work. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then they got to be better than me.
So it's like Michael Jordan's offsprings.
Yeah.
I mean, to the rest of the world, yeah, at first we're like, oh, man, the next Jordan is coming.
Jordan.
But he's not Michael.
Yeah.
Same thing.
You got to have the drive and the desire and the want to do all those things. And, like, I think that's kind of what, like, in general, like, society or, like, families struggle with is, like, there's that one person that wanted it so bad and so hard that they popped through.
Yep.
And that's great and that's amazing. But then you see, like, a generation or two or three where there's, like, decay, like, in the I don't know, like in the footsteps of that, like after it's happened, like an MJ situation. I'm not saying like this is his, but like dude made it from out of nothing because he was starving, like not starving, but like starving for success. Like
Absolutely.
He was so competitive and so driven to win and succeed and be the best and the greatest ever just because of the way he was brought up. And like he was brought up like kind of hungry, man. He wanted it. Exactly. Well, when he gets it and achieves that, he starts to then not, people that do those things, now their kids are growing up in a much different environment.
Right.
Like they're growing up and things are okay. They're kind of cushy.
It's cool. Like,
which they could have a desire for something else.
Right.
But like it's very hard to have that hunger, theoretic hunger, when you're never actually hungry, literally, growing up.
No, that's a true statement.
Like it's
true statement.
People will sleep on that. I get a lot of flack for that too. Be like, oh man, it was like life be so great, man. It must have been awesome, like getting set up. Like I grew up on a gravel road too. Like we ate pasta a lot. Like ask me how often I eat like spaghetti and marinara now. Hate it. Don't want to touch it because we used to eat it like all the time. Like that was just like cheap pasta and spaghetti sauce
for sure. Bologna.
Yeah, you just don't want to touch it anymore. It's like PTSD food. You're like, I'm not going back to that. I remember eating that and being like, as soon as I make it, man, I'm never eating this crap again. It's funny though.
Man. There's like Vienna sausages. You ever had those?
Yeah.
Gross.
Is that your thing?
No.
Yeah, mine was like pasta and marinara. You said Vienna sausages, bologna.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the potty meat.
Yeah.
That's what I had growing up. But I didn't have hungry days. Don't get me wrong. I had mom and dad who worked hard or whatever. Yeah. But the story of those people missing meals, that will makes anybody pop in the brain and just go ballistic with the getting money or whatever their focus is. So I understand that. My only thing is when we learn about those people, I just want people to stop judging them when they do something. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying this. I'm not saying. You know what I'm saying? But if they do something crazy or go to jail, think about that meal they missed. You know what I mean? I just had to throw that in there. But anyway.
For sure, dude. It's all like everything. And it was like I think it was a quote that popped up this week with like the like MLK Day was like, not every situation or like indirect situations or something like that. If it doesn't affect you indirectly, but it affects someone else, if it affects someone else, it still affects everyone else indirectly. Something along those lines. I'm totally butchering it. But I thought it was just an interesting thing. It's like, it's like, oh, it's Martin Luther King Day. I have a dream. And you see all this stuff. And it was like, damn, I actually saw like another thing on that day this year that was like, dang, I hadn't heard that one. That's pretty slick.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. But that's why you have days like that. That's why you put it on the calendar and you make a spot out of it and things like that. Very big on all that stuff, man. Because if not, you start forgetting about it and then people stop talking about it and then it just goes away. It's just like there's a bazillion other stories that are probably just as good or just as impactful, but they just weren't given that precedence at that time. And they've fallen along the wayside. And, Martin Luther King wasn't the first guy to be like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other people before him that set the table to get the climate in the air, kind of get the climate where it needed to be for that impact to actually have the staying power. So it's an interesting thing. And that's in anything, like not to just jump on that, but
no,
it's
really.
Like, it's a lot of stuff. Like the DeMar Hamlin thing this week. Like last week, it takes a lot of like, there's a lot of concussion protocol and this and this and this and this and this and this for people to actually take a dude getting like smacked like that to they canceled a game, bro. Like they quit playing the game. It's weird. Man. Can you imagine like 20 years ago them being like, yeah, and then this guy got hurt in the NFL game and they quit playing? We would have been like, yeah, right.
Yeah,
like,
right.
They didn't do that.
They just hauled him off.
What were you on Madden? Yeah, would you hit the power button?
So, man, my heart still goes out to him, even though he's doing better. But that's scary.
Crazy.
That's why I never played football.
Yeah,
I
just went one season.
Yeah. Tryouts for me. I was done after that.
You like getting hit?
Yeah, nah. I'm not fond of a bunch of men falling on top of me.
Yeah, the claustrophobic factor too. That's what I hated about it. So I played like in 6th grade or something just because all my buddies did or whatever, and I was tiny, of course. And then they were like, "Oh, you make a great running back." I was like, "I'm slow and I'm small. Like, how does that make any sense?" They're like, "Well, you can't play anything else." I was like, "Well, shoot." So they put me at like safety and running back, and they occasionally let me run the ball. And man, I hated getting running the ball because I'm like, man, I'm gonna get tackled, and then like 7 dudes are gonna lay on me, and I'm gonna be like, "Get off, please." Yeah. I hated it. Couldn't stand it.
And the way they land on you sometimes, it just oh my god, dude. Nah. When I had shout out to my cousin that made me quit forever. When he clotheslined me and I did a backflip.
Yeah, he's like back to baseball.
Yeah, capiche.
Yeah, at least on baseball you got all the spacing. What position did you play in baseball?
I was a pitcher.
Oh, even better. No one's touching you. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
You don't even have to field hardly.
Yeah,
nice.
I think that's why I'm in front of a camera now.
Yeah, pitcher.
Yeah,
that's true. I can see that. Again, another one of those things you do growing up that builds kind of that charisma or like that character, I guess would probably be the better term for it, of like, I'm going to stand right here, I'm going to hold the rock, and it's all on my shoulders.
Exactly.
It takes confidence. Or it builds confidence, one of the two. Or yes.
It's nothing like standing up there holding that ball, and it's just like, it's actually like Russian roulette, man.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like
that is true.
I'm gonna sit you down, or you're gonna be on one of these bases. So
yeah, you're not getting all of them, but yeah, I might get on.
Yeah. Sure. I was untouchable at times.
That's why I liked wrestling, dude.
Yeah,
it's 1v1, and it's in a room of screaming adults.
Yeah,
like yelling and screaming. Like I don't know if you ever been to like a wrestling tournament or anything like that, but it's a gym full. It's like a basketball game, except for every moment is like the end of the game in a basketball game because there's like 2 or 3 or 4 matches going on at the same time. So it might be really, really loud in there, and it has nothing to do with the match you're wrestling. It's because on mat 2 is a really close match and everyone's watching it, so it's really loud. And then you got to kind of perform, and then that match ends, and then everybody starts watching you, and you're like, oh my God, the cheering now is adjusted to our, like if you're paying attention to that. They say block it all out, but like we're all adults, or like we're all humans here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Okay.
We're trying to see what's going on.
Yeah, be 8 years old and tune it all out. Like you're friggin' 8 years old, dude. Like what are you talking about? But that stuff like was huge for me, man, on confidence, especially of just like it's I gotta literally, and especially when you go to finals, generally it's one match at a time. You go right through it, all the weight classes, and it's championship matches. Really? So you're in front of it was like a gym of, you got like 12 or 16 teams, all their parents, and the whole gym. It's like just you and another person in the ref.
Wrestling match just sounded lit, man.
It's crazy. It builds like crazy, mentally tough people though, over time.
I can believe it. One of my favorite cousins, he was a wrestler back in school, and he told me about the environment. So I instantly regretted it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's like freaking dogfighting, man. What I really liked about it the most, though, for myself personally, was like all of that, it all being on me, and no one on my team could really screw it up for me because, if we lost like by a team score, it was like, team results were whatever. Right. It was an individual sport first and foremost, so it was like that didn't really bother me, but like, dude, some of it is so intense. I love it.
Come on, man.
It's my favorites.
Come on, tell the people you were nice.
I mean, I was good. I never like. In Ohio, there's such a high level of wrestling there in the top division too.
That's where you're from.
Yeah, I'm from Ohio, Columbus.
Okay.
So yeah, I was doing it up there, man. It was tough.
Yeah, you probably better than everybody here, but
the funny part is I started going to North Lenore and like helping them with their like just like working out the team about a year ago or so, maybe a little bit longer, and I would like go in and first couple of times like nobody knew me, so I was like chilling like just kind of catching the vibe of the space and stuff, which is totally different than up north, like just night and day. And then we started doing stuff, and then I kind of like started putting myself out there, like, hey, try this, and then we showed a few moves, and I started doing a little live with them, and like I only have one speed, like I don't care if you're learning or not, like I'll like be chill, like if you're learning and stuff for sure, and I'll make you work, but like I will beat your ass and talk to you while I'm doing it. Like I'll tell you what to do or tell you your options to combat what I'm doing,
right?
While still like trying to beat the shit out of you. Like I just love, like I enjoy that. But anywho, we got up one day and we were like leaving practice, and they were like, "Hey man, like how many times did you go to state?" And I was like, "Never." And they were like, "What? You never even qualified for state?" And I was like, "Not one time." And they were like, "Dang!" And the dude that had asked me that ended up going to state like a month later here in North Carolina. Like that's how much of a difference it is.
Wow.
It's an incredibly well, and also here the divisions for the local teams are like 2A, I think. So which is like the small schools of a state that's not really prominent wrestling state. And I was in division in Ohio. It's 1, 2, and 3, and 1 is the large schools. 3 is the small country schools and stuff like that. So I was in like Division 1 in a state that's in the top 3 or 4 every year. Yeah, I never even made it to state. Like I won one match at the level before state my whole high school career.
Wow.
And I was decent. Like I was pretty good.
I mean,
it's nuts. It's so hard.
Ohio, just like Kansas.
Yeah.
I mean, hotbeds.
Yeah. Iowa, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
For wrestling.
Oh yeah.
California, not bad. New Jersey. And then everyone else. We used to have like a joke in Ohio because people were like, you want to look at records and stuff. And there was always like senior nationals was held in Cleveland. It was for like if you were a state placer in any state and you were a senior, you could go to senior nationals. And so people from Ohio would go to senior nationals and they'd be like, be like a dude that got like 6th his senior year in Ohio in like Division 2. And he'd go to senior nationals and they'd put your like entire high school career record on like the line.
Oh my god!
Because it's senior national, so they'd put your whole record. And these kids would come from like Florida and these other states, and they'd be like 146-1, like 153-2, and then like some dude from Ohio, they'd be like 3-time state champion, Florida, 100. This is a real one I do know of. 4-time state champion out of Florida with a record of 160 wins and 3 losses, and some dude from Ohio that placed 6th. His senior year only in Division 2, and I think his career record was like 97-51, and he beat that dude. I was like,
"Oh my
jeez.
God! Oh my god!"
Okay. So you've got this guy that's like setting career records in the state of in the state of Florida, comes up and then gets beat by like a dude that got 6th one time ever in Ohio, and like not even the top division. The dude's like smoked him.
That's
like
crazy.
Holy cow! So like us, they were always telling us like, don't even look at records; they don't mean anything because these kids that you're wrestling generally have never faced the competition that you have, and so that was like a weird thing. So then like you kind of grow up. It's an Ohio thing. Like Ohio versus the world is like everybody hates the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
If you're not a Buckeye, you hate the Buckeyes. Yeah. You think a million things about the Buckeyes. Everybody hates them, unless you're Buckeyes. So it's Ohio versus the world. There's just like this mentality there that like. Everyone hates us, and everyone thinks they're better than us, but just wait till the results come in. Like it's just and so I moved down here, and so like I have that because I live there, and then I also did that sport, and then I'm also down here on this thing where I'm like I'm on a mission right now, and then people are like, man, you're kind of like this, like you're kind of like you're talking ugly, and I'm like, it ain't ugly, like it's just the way that it is, like it's just a different culture, it's just a different situation, like
you can't break that.
Yeah, I'm not going to move here and then be like, oh, I shouldn't be as outwardly confident. Like, I'm sorry if it offends you, but it's just my vibe.
Hey, man, I understand. These boys got to learn, man.
Yeah. And you don't have to like it or like adjust and be like me. It's just me. I'm just doing me.
But you come from that, too.
Right.
That level of competition.
I mean, they have it here, like in like another one specifically locally would be like Kinston basketball. Oh, it's just in them. They just have it. It's just this mentality. It's in the blood. It's in the water.
It's in the water. It's definitely in the water.
But there's a mentality here too that's very much like that. And then if you actually if the local community like zoomed out on it, they'd be like, oh, it is kind of ugly per se to the word, but like no, it's just the game. It's game time. You see, Stackhouse got another technical last week for like throwing a clipboard against somebody. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. And I send it to like people around town. Like, that's Stack, baby. That's just how he is. He's got an attitude. And I'm like, I love that. Like, it makes me like a Vanderbilt basketball fan because he's so like that. I love that.
Let me tell you something. People from Kinston, they definitely drunk something different because my mom is actually from Kinston.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, my dad owns a dump trucking company.
Okay.
And the pillar is my mom. I mean, even if the books are 1 cent off, she's going to go find that penny.
I like that.
I'm like, yeah, y'all different.
Yeah, just wired different, man. Just different cloth.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, but I'm glad I got a little bit of that in
you
my
got a good little
bloodstream.
mix. Where's your dad from? Greene County? Hookerton?
Greene County. Yep.
Yeah, so you got the whole Dobbs. You got the full Dobbs thing going on, man.
Yeah, most definitely.
Little this, little that. That's perfect. That's a good mix. It's a good mix. You definitely remind me of like a lot of like several people that I've communicated with.
Well, that's good. I hope.
Yeah. Well, there's different ones. Like there's, you know what I mean. Like there's all sorts of different vibes. But like, you got anything else to add? You want to do? We do shameless self promotion, but we kind of do that the whole time too. You know what I mean? So,
what's shameless self promotion?
Shameless self promotion is where we give you the opportunity. We kind of did it off the rip, but we give you the opportunity just to like shamelessly plug whatever you want to plug all in one time, like right before we call it.
The Bootleg Podcast Show. Then you want to make sure you want to go, look at Kicking It with Zac, because that's my boy. Yeah. And he bootleg gang them now.
Yeah.
Put it there.
Yeah, dude, I got to come over. I got to slide over
Almost
there
definitely.
And get on the pod with you guys.
Oh, man, you're going to love it over there.
It'd be fun, dude, I'm telling you. I've watched a couple of them. I like it.
And look, I'm going to tell you, before you come out there, do not be alarmed. It is wide open field, country space, and there's only 2 houses back there. It's a long dirt road with it's not a wrong turn, I promise.
It's all good, man.
It's all good. We all family men, and we like to have a good time.
I like that. Cool.
So, yeah, and we like to get crazy. So
For sure.
I think we like the NWA podcast. You know?
I like that. You guys have been like adapting the kind of the backdrop there too in the studio. I've noticed as well. You guys been adding pieces. So you like did the little brighter wall, so you got a little better lighting and stuff. Like, figuring it out.
Yeah,
it's all about like I like seeing that too, man. Is like watching the progression of like I like watching those early ones and then seeing how you're like, oh man, learn that lesson, did this. You see the progression. Exactly. There's a lot of stuff to pick up from that, man. I watch other people's things to pick up the things that they're picking up and learning. So,
sure. and then too, it's even crazier because we're in a type of multimedia type thing. So it's just like you really see the progression.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it could be something as simple from white table to black table, or regular mics to Rode mics. It really is like one of those things you just have to keep going, and you have to have people around you, or just to mind yourself to be able to keep progressing.
Yep.
So that's why I had to reach out to you. I respect what you're doing. I appreciate you for having me up here. And, man, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Kicking It with Zac.
For sure.
That's my boy.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for reaching out for sure, man. Love it. Again, wouldn't have happened if you wouldn't reach out to me because I wasn't even on the wavelength.
Put her there.
Why not, man? Yeah. Well, appreciate y'all for checking it out. This is episode 25 of the Kicking It With podcast. I'm Zac Holcomb. This is Jap Jones of the Bootleg Podcast. Check them out. We'll catch up with y'all later on episode 26.
Peace.